ライオン真のエスタノール。
Hello traders, it's Kanor here for a new YouTube video. I hope you all doing well. I hope you all feeling great. So like I promised you in our free Telegram channel, like you see here in this screenshot, that we're gonna talk about two important subjects. The first one is wake off, and this will be in another YouTube video. So today we're gonna talk about the second subject, and is how to use the external liquidity and the internal range liquidity, combine with them the Asia session liquidity to catch swing trades with high risk to reward. So this is what we're gonna talk about it today. Don't forget to join our free Telegram channel, link in the bio. Don't forget to support us with like, comment and share, and let's go. So again, into our video today, we're going to talk about the external range liquidity and the internal range liquidity, and how to use the external range liquidity and the internal range liquidity combined with the Asia session liquidity to take swing trades with high risk to reward. So first of all, we're going to explain the idea with those draws here, and then we're going to move to the live chart to take clear examples. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is explaining the internal range liquidity and the external range liquidity. So you need to understand what is those form of liquidity. Okay, so the internal range liquidity and the external range liquidity, it's most likely structural liquidity points. Okay, so let's say we are into so the external range liquidity, it's so simple. Let's say we are into uptrend, so those highs here that market breakthrough are external range liquidity. Okay, so it's so simple. The external range liquidity doesn't need much of explanation. So the internal range liquidity, let's say we are let's draw this leg here. Okay, on some lower time frame. Okay, so let's imagine that this leg from this high to this low, this is one here. Okay, so the internal range liquidity, it's every low here represent internal range liquidity, and every form of liquidity or form of retail liquidity. Okay, so for example, here we have here support and resistance level. The breakout traders entered here and set their stop losses here below here. Okay, the same thing here again. Okay, the trend line liquidity traders. Okay, the early buyers here who try to continue with the trend line. So since we took the external higher time frame liquidity, all those will be taken with this leg here. Okay, so the market will drop, take all this internal range liquidity. So this is the first form of internal range liquidity. The second form of internal range liquidity, let's say from this low to this high, so for all this leg here, we need to look for the fair value gaps. So the fair value gaps also represent internal range liquidity. So the price or the market will, after taking the external range liquidity here, so let's draw it with clear way. So let's say we took this external range liquidity here, and the market starts dropping to the downside. So the most likely price look for some discounted fair value gap here to push again to the upside. Okay, and at the same time, this external range liquidity will be the next target. Okay, and all highs here represent also the external range liquidity. Okay, so this is for the external range liquidity and internal range liquidity. So to summarize everything, we have let's say we have here two type of internal range liquidity. Sorry. Okay, so the first thing is fair value gaps inside. Okay, the second thing is every form of retail liquidity inside the range. Okay, so this is the internal range liquidity. The external range liquidity is clear and so simple, we don't need to talk about it too much. So the second part of the idea of or the strategy. It's called be a strategy. You can use it as a strategy. So we're gonna wait for the first thing we need to do is waiting for price to tap into internal range liquidity or taking external range liquidity. So let's say we took this external, this is the high, so this leg here is this one here, okay? So let's, this leg here is this one here, okay? So when we zoom in, okay, so we said we took here external range liquidity. So now we're gonna look for this leg here in lower time frame. So what we need to do after taking the external range liquidity, the first thing we're gonna wait for a change of character, okay? So let's write the steps one by one. So the first thing we need to look for or wait for swipe of external, okay? This is the first thing. The second thing, we need to look for some little bit higher time frame change of character, or waiting for change of character or market shift, okay? Okay, it's the same. So let's say here vertical structure, okay? So that's the third point of our idea or strategy is waiting for or looking for the first point of interest here, and then we're gonna use the Asia session liquidity to scroll with multiple trades, okay? So valid AI fourth point, use so we're gonna look for only for the liquidity that rests above the Asia session, okay? Okay, so this is the fourth point, and then 5 points, looking for confirmation candle. And so it's clear enough, I think. So the first thing after the swipe of liquidity here on our time frame, let's say we took this external range liquidity, we need to see or look for change of character, okay, and look for a valid zone here to take a short, and then we're gonna look for Asia session to be formed, taking the high of Asia session, looking for confirmation candle and short again, and repeat the cycle till we reach the final point of liquidity. So here this gray box here represents the Asia session. Okay, so we're gonna wait for Asia session high to be taken. Even if you see Asia session low got taken out, you need to wait for Asia session to be taken and then look for a confirmation candle. Also, you can look for added other confluence to your strategy. You can wait for or draw or select some supply zones here, okay, above the Asia session to use to short from it, okay, or a fair value gap also. So this is the whole idea. And then when we reach this final point of liquidity, internal or external, doesn't matter. When we reach this point of liquidity, we're gonna look for the same thing, okay, and then looking for Asia, swipe of Asia session, take the entry here and push again and scroll till we reach the external range liquidity, okay? So this is the whole idea, theoretical part. So now we're gonna move to the practice on the live chart, okay? So let's go. sorry for that. Before we continue in our video, just want to inform you that slots to join to ESCALON-FX mentorship is officially open. You heard it first. This will be only open for few slots, so don't miss the opportunity, and let's continue.